Do you ever wake up sometimes and think to yourself, there are parts of my life that just don't fit anymore? What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Cardi Project. And honestly, that's how 35 has me feeling right now. 35 really has me reconsidering a lot of parts of my life. The environment that I live in, the people that I spend time with, the ways of working that I have, and honestly, just what the future of my life looks like. And to be completely truthful, this is something that happens every 7 years or so with me. But 35 just feels a little bit different. It feels heavier, clearer, and it just makes me want to explore like what those changes are. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about what restructuring my life at 35 looks like. And it's not because my life is a mess. It's not because things are falling apart. But it's because I'm maturing and realizing that some aspects of your life have to be built on purpose. So when I say I'm restructuring my life, I don't mean burning everything down to the ground. What it really means is taking a moment to analyze my habits, my environments, the people that I was connecting to, and understanding what were the things that still fit in my life, what of those things need to evolve, and what were some of the things that I finally had to let go. The first thing that I had to really think about and restructure was how do I clear the fog? Because it's really hard to make decisions and forward progression when you have things that are clouding your decision making abilities. And the first of those things was THC. About 2 months before my 35th birthday, I decided that I was going to quit altogether. I'd been using it for 6 or 7 years, and it was a crutch that I was using to detach from my life. But honestly, when I think back to that time, it was sapping my ambition, and it was one of the best decisions that I made going into this 35th year of my life. Additionally, I had to cut back on a lot of the heavy partying and drinking that I was doing. And it's not because being social is a bad thing, but when I look back at those days, it was making me groggy all of the time. It was sapping my recovery and my ability to really lean forward and make the decisions that I needed to. And finally, and maybe one of the hardest decisions that I had to make, was cutting ties with some of the people who were just draining my energy. It's really hard for you to really pour into yourself when you're constantly pouring your energy and your time and your resources into people who weren't reciprocating it and weren't being additive to your life. And by no means is this me saying that those points are invalid, right? Some people need those things and that's just the way that they choose to live their life. But for me personally, it was really hard for me to hear myself clearly while having those distractions in my way. So a few weeks into clearing the fog, my mindset transitioned into thinking about what does the vision of my life look like? Because honestly, for a long time, the question was, do I have a good job? And this is because stability mattered, income mattered, and being able to provide for myself is what mattered. But as I continue to age and mature, the question has evolved. It's gone from, do I have a good job, into, am I following a career that will lead to the life that I say I want? The first step of that was thinking about what does my 10-year plan look like? Because for me, I want to transition from being an operator into more of a strategist. The next decade of my life isn't going to look like approving time cards, planning labor, and following somebody else's objectives. Those were great for the moment and the season that I was in as I was growing and as I was building. But now I want to transition to a strategy where I'm building out what does my objectives look like? Are these things that are meaningful to me for my end state? I've decided that I don't want to just continue to climb the corporate ladder. That isn't the complete picture for me anymore. Yes, I still want to grow. Yes, I still want to make meaningful money. Yes, I still want my work to challenge me professionally. But also, I want something that I built for myself. I want some ownership, and I want to start blazing my own direction on what life looks like for me. Which then led me to the thought of, does my current environment lend to my ability to do that? Now, I currently live in Charlotte, and I moved here a couple years ago because I needed some stability in my life. I was living in Texas, and I needed to move back to the East Coast. And Charlotte was a great launching pad. But now I'm sitting and I'm reconsidering, is this still the city that helps me expand my life into what I see it being in the next 10 years? And no, that's not me being ungrateful. Charlotte is a great city that's growing and has a lot of opportunity. But I think for the season that I'm in, it doesn't fit the expansion that I'm trying to see for my life. So clearing the fog also revealed a few things to me. It made me realize that those vices that I got rid of were really just things that I used as a time filler. And with those things gone, I need to pick up new challenges that would fill that time. And for me, those new challenges didn't need to be things that were just impressive, but they needed to be things that added to my life. They needed to be things that required patience, discipline, and consistency. For me, the first challenge was a no-brainer, and that was preparing for my first marathon. And honestly, I love running because it's one of the few activities that really expose yourself to yourself. You can't fake the miles, you can't fake the discipline and preparation, and it's one of those things that to get consistent results, you have to consistently show up for yourself. The second challenge that I picked up was carpentry and furniture making. And for me, I really like this one because it put me back into the mindset of being a beginner and how to build from the ground up. This challenge, it's slow, it's physical, it requires precision, and it really showed me that I still had the muscle to learn something new. The final and perhaps the most difficult challenge for me was content creation. And I added this to my repertoire because there were a few key things that it really taught me. Learning to get comfortable in front of the camera, showing up when things are less than perfect, and learning what my audience wants and how marketing really works. It really flexed that different part of my creative brain that I don't get to use very often. All of these challenges were important to me because I didn't want to just continue to show up as a corporate man. I want to be more than just my title. I want to show that I was somebody who can build something. I can build my body, I can build my platform, I can build structure, and I can build my future. And maybe that's what restructuring my life at 35 looks like. Not starting over, not burning everything down to the ground, but really thinking about what still fits into my life, what are the things that I outgrew, and what do I need to build next. It's clearing the fog, redefining the vision, and choosing challenges that really help me grow. All of these help me make space for the version of myself that I want to become. I appreciate your time today. Talk to you next time. Peace.